At 61, Melissa Gilbert finally tells the truth about Melissa Sue Anderson. Melissa Gilbert was born Melissa Ellen Gilbert on May 8, 1964, in the heart of the entertainment world, Los Angeles, California, USA. She came into the world as the daughter of David Darlington and Kathy Wood. At the time of her birth, her biological parents faced significant financial constraints and were uncertain if they could provide the stability and opportunities that a child deserves. Recognizing their limitations and wanting the best for their newborn daughter, they made the difficult and selfless decision to place Melissa for adoption. This early act of love and foresight set the stage for a life that would intertwine closely with the world of show business. Melissa's adoption took place almost immediately as she was taken in by actors Paul Gilbert and his wife Barbara Crane just one day after her birth. Paul Gilbert was a seasoned actor with decades of experience, while Barbara Crane brought to the family her background as both an actress and a talented dancer. Barbara was also the daughter of the renowned comedy writer Harry Crane, whose work contributed to some of television's most memorable moments. Growing up in such an environment, Melissa was immersed in the arts from the very beginning, surrounded by creativity, performance, and the demands of Hollywood life. Her early childhood was marked by the divorce of her adoptive parents when she was 8, a change that undoubtedly impacted her formative years. Barbara would later marry Harold Abels, though this marriage also ended in divorce. From this second union, Melissa gained a half-sister, Sarah Rebecca Abels, born on January 29, 1975, who would eventually adopt the stage name Sarah Gilbert and carve out her own successful career in television, most notably on Roseanne. Tragically, Melissa's adoptive father, Paul Gilbert, passed away on February 13, 1976, after suffering a stroke, leaving a young Melissa to navigate the challenges of life without him. Despite these personal hardships, she was raised within the Jewish religious tradition, participating in its customs and values, though she was never formally converted. This spiritual foundation would become one of the many facets of her rich and multifaceted upbringing. From a remarkably young age, Melissa demonstrated exceptional talent as a performer. The combination of her natural ability and the influence of her adoptive parents' careers in Hollywood provided her with early exposure to acting and entertainment. She began working in commercials, one of her earliest being for Alpo dog food, where she performed alongside the iconic actor Lorne Greene. Such opportunities not only honed her skills, but also familiarized her with the demanding and competitive nature of the industry. Melissa's career-defining break came when she was cast as Laura Less, the second eldest daughter of Charles Less, played by Michael Landon, in the NBC series Little House on the Prairie. The casting process was intensely competitive, with over 500 children auditioning for the role. Ultimately, Melissa's natural charm, dedication, and on-screen presence won the part. Interestingly, she learned of her selection through Leslie Landon, Michael Landon's daughter, who attended the same school as Melissa. Her brother, Jonathan Gilbert, also became part of the series, portraying Willie Olson. Production began in 1973, with the show airing from 1974 to 1983. Over the years, the period drama became a cultural phenomenon beloved by viewers of all ages, and Melissa's portrayal of Laura endeared her to audiences, establishing her as a household name. While Little House on the Prairie remained the cornerstone of her early career, Melissa expanded her talents into feature films and continued to build her television career. She took on notable roles in critically acclaimed productions such as The Miracle Worker 1979, The Diary of Anne Frank 1980, Splendor in the Grass 1981, and Choices of the Heart 1983, in which she played the humanitarian Jean Donovan. As she matured, she transitioned to more adult roles, including appearances in Choices 1986 and A Family of Strangers 1993. In addition to live-action performances, Melissa lent her voice to animated productions, most notably voicing Batgirl in Batman, the animated series during the 1990s. In 1996, she appeared in 3 episodes of Babylon 5 as Anna Sheridan, acting alongside her husband at the time, Bruce Boxleitner. Melissa's career also had its share of challenges and less successful projects. She faced setbacks with productions like Little House, A New Beginning, 1982, Stand By Your Man, 1992, and Sweet Justice, 1994. Nevertheless, she persevered, continuing to pursue a diverse range of roles. In 2006, she appeared in the television series Nip Tuck as Sure Noble, a patient undergoing a sensitive cosmetic procedure, demonstrating her willingness to tackle unconventional and mature material. In addition to her screen work, Melissa returned to her roots in Little House on the Prairie in a theatrical context. Between 2008 and 2009, she played Caroline Ma in the musical adaptation of the series, directed by Francesca Zambalou. The production premiered at the Guthrie Theater in Minneapolis and embarked on a national tour, concluding at the Starlight Theater in Kansas City, Missouri, in June 2010. This venture allowed her to reconnect with audiences in a live performance setting, showcasing her enduring dedication to the story that had defined much of her life. Melissa also shared her personal and professional journey in her 2009 autobiography, A Prairie Tale, a memoir, providing fans with an intimate look at her experiences in Hollywood, her family life, and her evolution as both an actor and an individual. She continued to act in various projects, including the Christmas Pageant 2011, and expanded her talents into dance, competing in the 14th season of Dancing with the Stars in 2012, partnered with professional dancer Maxim Kamarowski. She delivered memorable performances, ultimately being eliminated on her birthday in the 8th episode. After demonstrating resilience, grace, and competitive spirit, Melissa's ambitions extended beyond entertainment. On August 10, 2015, she declared her candidacy for the United States House of Representatives from Michigan's 8th Congressional District in the 2016 elections. However, she eventually pulled out of the race because of complications from spinal injury. Along with acting and public service, she became a producer and a director, and she created her production company, Half Pint Productions, allowing her to assume creative control of projects and cultivate other artists' work. Melissa Gilbert's personal life has been closely intertwined with her relationships, particularly her marriages, which reflect different chapters of her life and growth both personally and professionally. Melissa first married actor Bo Brinkman in 1988. Brinkman, known for his work in both television and theater, was an important figure in Melissa's life during a formative time in her adulthood as she transitioned from being a child star into a mature actress, finding her footing in Hollywood and through her identity. Their marriage, however, was not without its challenges, as often proves true when both partners are in demanding careers requiring long hours and attention from the public. After being married for 6 years, the couple decided to part ways and finalize their divorce in 1994. Though the relationship did not stand the test of time, it marked an important period in Melissa's journey toward understanding what she needed from a partner and in life. Shortly afterward, Melissa wed Bruce Boxleitner in 1995. Boxleitner was a well-established actor heralded for his starring roles in science fiction television, such as Babylon 5 and Scarecrow and Mrs. King. He and Melissa shared an incredible bond on both professional and personal levels. Their marriage endured for 16 years, during which they crossed T's and dotted I's, bringing together their families, careers, and public attention. As a Hollywood couple, they were highly visible, supporting one another in their acting projects and personal passions. Despite mutual admiration and their length of marriage, the end finally came in 2011. Their divorce reflected not just the fights and pressures of sustaining a long-term relationship in the public eye, but that careers, family responsibilities, and personal growth sometimes strain even the most lasting ties. In 2013, Melissa married Timothy Busfield, a renowned actor and director for series such as The West Wing and 30 Some. This time, marriage was more stable and mature. By this time, Melissa had gained extensive life experience, understanding herself and her needs more deeply than in her previous marriages. Timothy, with his calm demeanor and creative background, meshed well with Melissa's energy and artistic sensibilities into a partnership built upon mutual respect, friendship, and shared values. Their marriage has been characterized by strong emotional support, collaboration, and a sense of partnership that reflects the lessons Melissa learned from her earlier relationships. At 61, Melissa Gilbert finally opened up in a candid and deeply personal reflection about her relationship with her longtime Little House on the Prairie co-star Melissa Sue Anderson, revealing insights that fans had long speculated about, but never fully understood. In interviews, Gilbert spoke openly, emphasizing that the bond she shared with Anderson was complex, layered, and sometimes challenging. "We had a connection from the very beginning," Gilbert said. "Being on Little House on the Prairie at such a young age, we were thrown into a world of fame and scrutiny, and that creates a unique kind of friendship, but it wasn't always smooth sailing." Her words hint at the intensity of growing up in front of the camera and the pressures that often accompany child stardom. Gilbert elaborated that while their characters on screen portrayed idyllic family and friend dynamics, the reality behind the scenes was far more complicated. "People saw us as perfect little girls with perfect lives. But the truth is we were just kids navigating a highly unusual environment," she admitted. Melissa Gilbert also reflected on the inevitable changes that time brings to relationships. She spoke about the evolution of their friendship, noting that as they grew older, both she and Anderson faced their own personal struggles, career challenges, and moments of self-discovery. "We each had our own paths," Gilbert explained. "Sometimes those paths diverged, and that's natural. You can love someone deeply and still need to find yourself apart from them." Gilbert's honesty exposes a maturity in understanding the fluidity of relationships, especially those formed under extraordinary circumstances. She made a point to say there was never any animosity or ill will between them, just simply that growing up together in the spotlight creates a bond in and of itself that doesn't always fit the mold of conventional friendship. Throughout her reflection, Gilbert showed immense respect and admiration for Anderson's talents and character. "Melissa Sue is one of the most genuine, talented people I've ever known," she said. "Working alongside her taught me so much about professionalism, patience, and the power of quiet strength." Gilbert remembered times on set when Anderson's dedication and focus inspired her to push herself further as an actress and a person. She also spoke about shared camaraderie with other cast members, the sense of family developed among actors, crew, and producers alike. Still, she didn't hold back on the fact that such a grueling schedule, long hours, and public attention could heighten small tensions. "Being observed as a child, all the time, changes you," Gilbert reflected. "There were moments of jealousy, misunderstanding, and insecurity, but that was part of growing up in a world that doesn't allow you space to just be a kid." Gilbert continued with why she chose this moment at 61 to finally speak so candidly. "I think age gives you perspective," she shared. "When you are young, you hang on to feelings and judgments in ways that distort reality. Now I can look back and see it all with clarity. I can appreciate our shared history, all the good and the challenging moments, without needing to defend or explain myself to anyone." Her words ring true for many who have followed her career, a show of vulnerability and introspection, both highly relatable and deeply human. It is clear that Gilbert's decision to speak about Anderson now is not meant to settle old scores or relive conflicts, but rather to pay homage to the complexity of a lifelong connection that shaped both women's lives. Finally, Gilbert's comments remind fans that relationships formed in childhood, especially under the glare of fame, are frequently misunderstood by the public. "People assume that because you work together on a show, you're automatically best friends forever," she said. But friendship is not just about circumstance. It's about compatibility and timing and shared experiences. Melissa Sue and I shared some of the most formative years of our lives together, and that bond will always exist, even if it looks different now than it did then. Gilbert's reflections are a poignant reminder of the enduring impact of early experiences, the resilience required to navigate public life, and the nuanced truths behind the apparently perfect image of childhood stardom. Her honesty is a tribute not just to Anderson, but also to the many friendships that grow, evolve, and endure in ways that are not always visible to the outside world.